What's going on, guys? Today I'm back with another H.A.T format replay review for you guys. If you're interested in sending in your H.A.T format replays, you can go down to the video description and find all the information on how to go about doing that. Anyways, the match I have for you today, we have Gigavise, who is going to be on Gigavise versus... I'm not going to make an attempt at that name. I apologize. I'm just going to call them E, and they are going to be on Madolche Artifact. So this should be a pretty interesting matchup. So I think they already did the rock, paper, scissors, and Gigavise is going to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Supervise, Mathematician, Foolish Burial, Super Solar, Nutrient, Lone Fire Blossom. And on the other side, we see Madolche Palooza, Breakthrough Skill, Dimensional Prison, Magdalene, and Ignition. And so yeah, let's get straight into it. Here, Argon is going to draw another Supervise for turn, and it looks like they're going to take some time to think here. Oh, they even said it. They're going to start with Mathematician, sending a copy of Dandelion, which can then trigger and get 2 tokens. From here, Super Solar Nutrient's going to be activated, which this card says activate this card by tributing 1 level 2 or lower plant type monster, special summon 1 plant type monster from your hand or deck whose level is less than or equal to the levels of the tributed monster had on field +3. When this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. When that monster leaves the field, destroy this card. So here they are going to get rid of one of the tokens, and here they can summon a copy of Lone Fire Blossom, use Lone Fire, and summon a copy of Gigaplant. From here, they can use the Supervise on the Gigaplant, giving it its ability, so it's no longer a Gemini, and they're going to be able to summon back the Lone Fire here, use Lone Fire again, and summon a copy of Spore from deck. Next, they're going to synchro into a copy of Power Tool Dragon. Supervise is going to trigger to bring back the Gigaplant. Here, they're going to use Power Tool to reveal 3, going for Supervise, DDR, and Mark of the Rose, and getting the DDR from deck to hand. Next, they're going to equip the Supervise to the Gigaplant again, and Gigaplant will then use its ability, bringing back the Spore this time. And, oh, it looks like E is thinking a little, but then they are going to synchro with the Spore and what was that, the other token, I believe, the other Dandy token for a copy of Formula Synchron, which can then activate to get a draw. Here, getting a copy of Hidden Armory, that's a pretty good draw. Next, it looks like they are synchro summoning into a Stardust Dragon. Supervise will then trigger to bring back the Gigaplant. And, oh, they're thinking for a second. Here, they're going to go Spore, banishing the Lone Fire, so now the Spore is going to be a level 4 here. And from here, they're going to synchro with the Gigaplant for a copy of Leo. Okay, that's cool. Activate DDR, pitching the Lone Fire Blossom to bring back the Lone Fire that was banished, using Lone Fire, and summoning a copy of Nettles, which is usually just a tuner here, synchro summoning for a, copy of Naturia Beast. Oh, because Nettles is a Earth tuner. Okay, that's kind of cool, and Mathematician being Earth works really well. So yeah, going for, this is a pretty solid board on its own already. Pretty crazy. Here they're going to go Foolish Burial, sending a copy of Redox. Okay, using Redox, banishing Mathematician and Gigaplant to summon out the Redox here, overlaying for Dracosac and passing. So kind of interesting because they obviously they don't have space for the tokens or anything. So going for that is a little bit of a rough thing, though I guess Gigaplant or, Gigavise in general is a deck that is kind of tight on extra deck space. I feel like if it wasn't as tight on space, maybe something even as strange as like a Master of Blades would be good, especially with more people on things like Breakthrough Skill and Fiendish Chain and stuff. That would actually be like kind of a cool card, but it doesn't come up as often, especially with cards like Moral Tack that don't target and stuff like that. But it is a little unfortunate to see that, the deck doesn't have the greatest end board when they go through like a full combo like this. Though, regardless, it's still extremely strong because they still have to out everything else before they can even go for this. So not terrible here. So let's actually see, how E can deal with this. Here they're going to draw for turn, getting a copy of Hoot Cake. They're going to go Magdalene, use the effect to add a copy of Mess and Gelato here. Next, they're just going to set 4 back row and pass it over. Argon gets a copy of Mark of the Rose. And they say good. They're going to switch the Dracosac to attack, go battle phase, attack over the Magdalene, which the Magdalene should shuffle back into deck here. Next, Palooza is going to be activated. And this has the ability to special summon any number of Madolche monsters from your hand, but shuffle them into the deck during the end phase. This is a way just to prevent a lot of damage, because this is a lot of damage, but also the Messengelado will be able to trigger here because the Hoot Cake obviously being a beast. So they're going to use the effect and get a copy of H.A.T. Hopefully they catch this Madolche, because, Madolche's having monsters in graveyard for cards like the Hoot Cake and stuff actually is very relevant. But here they're going to, destroy the Hoot Cake. Oh, not catching it there either. And then the Draco Sack is going to get banished off of the D prison, and Leo is going to attack over. Oh, okay, so they are catching... Did they not? Okay, they didn't catch the Madolche being destroyed, but they caught the other ones. So that's, interesting here. Hopefully that doesn't become relevant. In main phase 2, though, Argon's going to activate the Hidden Armory, which says send the top card of your deck to the graveyard and add an equip spell from your deck or graveyard to your hand, and then you can't normal or set the turn you activate it. Here, sending Junk Forward off the top and adding the DDR. From here, Redox is going to activate, banishing Nettles and the Junk Forward. And, oh, why'd they... Okay, so I guess maybe they accidentally thought that it wasn't banished, but yeah, it was banished off the D prison. And here, just passing. So I guess this was just more so a body. But here, E gets a copy of Sanctum, which is pretty good, especially since they do have this ignition here. Setting the Sanctum, and then Redox returns in end phase, drawing into another Mark of the Rose here. They're going to go battle phase and just push in. Oh, but Sanctum is activated, choosing not to chain the ignition. Maybe they aren't on Beagle Tech, and maybe they're just on Moral Tax, which isn't super uncommon for the Madolche artifact deck. But yeah, being able to summon the Moral Tack here and using the ability, but that is going to meet the Stardust, so it's going to be negated and destroyed, and then swinging in. So it was just kind of a way to prevent damage, obviously. Main phase 2, they are going to activate DDR, pitching the Redox to bring back the Gigaplant. Oh, but Ignition is going to be chained there, so they actually will not get that, and E is going to be able to set a Moral Tack here. And in the end phase, Stardust will summon back. They say it's good. Over to E, who draws a copy of D Prison, and yeah, that's, that was a pretty strong turn 1, so not a whole lot they could do there, but here E will be able to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Junk Forward, Lone Fire, Royal Decree, Junk Forward, and Super Solar Nutrient, and on the other side, we see Breakthrough Skill, D Prison, Beagle Tech. Oh, so they are on the Beagle Tech. Ignition, and Torrential. So kind of interesting that they, again, didn't do that, because at least at that point, they'd have more bodies. But yeah, okay, the kind of interesting play, but let's see what happens. So here, E will draw for turn, getting a copy of Messengelado, setting 4 back row, keeping the Beagle Tech. Again, very strange why you would keep that, especially given, I guess they're keeping the Ignition open by not setting a back row. They'll be able to pop, any back row from Argon here. But, a lot of times also just having access to Ignition Beagle Tech is strong because it gives you 2 bodies. And especially you already have Torrential, so you don't necessarily care what board they're putting up, because there are going to be certain choke points where you can just stop that, especially given, you do have the Dimensional Prison and the Breakthrough. So maybe there was a reason to also set this, but besides that, they didn't really have much Madolche engine going on, so it wasn't even the strongest. So yeah, no, maybe I probably would have set the Beagle Tag there potentially. But anyways, Argon here is going to draw into a copy of Mathematician, and they are going to special summon Junk Forward, normal summon Mathematician, and attempt to use the effect, but that is met with the Breakthrough skill. But now here, Argon can go for a copy of Melee, use the effect, and detach. Oh, I guess they said stop. Maybe they're thinking here. Here they are going to Torrential the Melee. So it looks like Argon's just going to set the Decree and go end phase. And in the end phase, the Ignition's going to be activated, popping the Royal Decree and setting a Moral Tack. Okay. And, oh, so maybe, I wonder if they sided into the hands or if they were also playing them. I'm not entirely sure. We didn't see any in the first game there, but here drawing into a Fire Hand, so that's at least something to put a little bit of pressure, being able to normal summon the Fire Hand, set the Beagle Tack, go to battle phase, and over to Argon, who gets another Decree here, and they do have the Lone Fire, so here they are going to just set the Decree, probably trying to set this up to stop all this back row before using the Lone Fire here. And it looks like E is going to get a copy of Hoot Cake, which they have no monsters in graveyard, so it's not live here, but they can still put pressure with this Fire Hand, so they are going to do that going to battle phase. And here they're going to activate Royal Decree. Maybe they meant to do that in end phase, but regardless, let's see what happens. Oh, here they're going to special summon the Junk forward. Next, they're going to use the Foolish, sending the Dandy, using Dandy to get 2 tokens. So now the Super Solar Nutrient is live again, doing the same thing as last time, going for the Lone Fire. This time summoning Spore, because they don't have the copy of Supervise in hand. Summoning a Junk Synchron, drawing into Supervise. Okay, never mind, I stand corrected. Normal summoning the copy of Lone Fire here, tributing it for Gigaplant. Next, they can Supervise the Gigaplant, bring back the Spore, Synchro into a Power Tool. Supervise will trigger to bring back the Gigaplant, and Power Tool revealing Supervise, and Mark of the Rose. Really hoping, I'm sure, for that Supervise, which they do get, so never punished. Gigaplant can then bring back the Spore again. And they're going to go for Stardust. I missed... Oh, there was the 2 and the Gigaplant. Okay, cool. And then Supervise triggers, bringing back the Gigaplant. And here they are synchroing for a copy of Leo. So really prioritizing that Leo. Next, they're going to Spore banish the Gigaplant. So now this is a level 7. Oh, so they can make a 7. Okay, so here they're going to go for the Draco Sack. Pretty cool play, getting 2 tokens here. And using Draco Sack to pop the Fire Hand. The Fire Hand will then try to activate. Stardust will meet that. And then Battle Phase, swing in for a lot of damage with Leo. End phase, Stardust returns. And over to E, who gets a copy of Magdalene. But now that Hoot Cake is going to be live. So here they are going to use the graveyard effect of Breakthrough Skill to negate the Stardust. Because I'm pretty sure this is only on field. Yeah. So they can still use the graveyard effect here. Here going Hoot Cake. Banishing the Fire Hand. And they're going to take a second to think. Summoning the Mewtwo. And from here, they're going to overlay into a copy of Levier. Okay, to bring back the Fire Hand here, which they are going to go for. They're going to go Battle Phase, swing into the Stardust. Oh, this Fire Hand could put in a lot of work here. Oh, I guess popping the token. Okay, interesting. And then here, go in and swing with the Ice Hand, which will pop the Decree and summon another Fire Hand. And from, I guess what they could have also done is it's negated, but I'm pretty sure this card tributes for cost, if I remember correctly. When cards, you can tribute this card. Yeah, so, well, yeah, because if they could have tributed for cost, this means they would have had to always keep crashing into the Leo, which is a lot more damage. Especially given how much they had and stuff. So maybe that was a play, but who really knows at that point. Here, they're just going to go through the whole loop, popping the Draco Sack this time, summoning an Ice Hand, and obviously there's no more back row, so they can't crash this or it won't float, so they wouldn't really do anything here. Here, Argon is going to get a copy of Junk forward, go Battle Phase, run over the Levier, and then Stardust over the Ice Hand, but that is going to get met with the Deep Prison. Over to E, who's going to summon a Magdalene. I believe they drew the Moral Attack there for turn, getting a copy of Angeli. And main phase 2, they're going to go for 101, but it's kind of unfortunate. Leo says that they can't target it except during their main phase 2, not the main phase 2. So here, this isn't going to do anything here. And they're going back. Maybe they're going to change it out. He's allowing it. Nope, instead he's just going to summon the Honor Arc in defense position. It's an honest mistake. I've had people even forget that this can only suck up special summon monsters, and they'll try it on like a normal summon or something. So very common thing that people forget about this. The game was a lot different back in the day, but here it looks like Argon is going to get a copy of Soul Charge. And are they going to go for a Soul Charge play? They are, okay. And it looks like E is just going to scoop it up. They didn't really have anything going for them. And, you know, this deck can do a lot. I would have liked to see what targets they were going to target with this, just to kind of get an idea of where they were going. Because once this deck uses up a lot of resources, it can be hard to kind of get back into the game. Though, again, E here didn't really have anything, they just had this defender, so putting up almost anything could do a lot. Though at the same time, you know, they did have this copy of Angeli, which can get them into a hoot cake and kind of get some of their plays sort of started depending on what they had. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like on it, comment any questions or videos you want to see in the future, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notified anytime I put a new video out, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to check out the video description to find out how you can send in your hat format replays. But anyways, guys, I will see you in the next video.